I'm delighted to be joined by Irish International and Canterbury brand ambassador Maeve Óg O'Leary for the launch of the new Canterbury Ireland Women's jersey. The jerseys, they are now on sale via Intersports Elverys in store and on Elverys.ie and on Canterbury.com. Maeve Óg, delighted to get a chance to speak to you. How is things?
Oh, good. I'm delighted to be chatting to you, Aisling. Thanks a million.
Good stuff. I'm sure life is quite busy for you at the moment.
Yeah, life is hectic enough at the moment. Sure, when isn't it now at this rate? But it's great. Can't complain playing rugby and working away. So
good stuff. Munster, they've made it back-to-back bonus point victories in the Interpros, 2 comfortable wins. You must be pretty happy with that.
yeah, absolutely chuffed. Obviously we had our last Interpros about 6 months ago, so it was a little bit of a surprise Interpro, being 6 months on. But yeah, we've come together really nicely and built really nicely, and we've been able to have that a little bit of that continuation from 6 months ago. So coming away with the bonus point wins has been great.
And does it mean a lot to you to be able to play for Munster?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. It really is kind of representing your home club and your community. And there's just something really special about it. We all love it. We have that camaraderie down there in Munster, and we all know we're fighting for that same crest. And we always say that it is a superpower down below. So it certainly is, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it the most.
Yeah, it's brilliant. There's definitely a bit of youth and experience within the team as well. The likes of Emer Considine, she's back in the squad this season after having her baby boy. That was great to see.
Oh, unbelievable. I mean, she is something else. She's such a role model, and she's so inspirational. Like she would have had Kate on like 6.5 months ago, and to be on the pitch playing 80 minutes on Saturday was unbelievable. But there's no better woman. She works so hard, and she knew that was her goal. And I think it just shows that other women across the sport can absolutely do it as well.
Yeah, it was absolutely great to see. You have the likes of Niamh Briggs, she's the head coach there, and you have Fiona Hayes is in there as well as an assistant coach. I know Fiona quite well from working with her on off the ball. She is absolutely gas. I'm sure she brings that to training too.
She is. She brings the best energy to training. I think you need to have that when you're training with your province, and she certainly brings that. So we've some crack with Fiona down there.
And what is she like as a coach? I'm sure, yes, she has the fun side to her, but I'd say she can be quite strict and straight to the point too.
Yeah, she's so passionate. Like obviously she would have had her years where she played, and you can see that when she is coaching that she wants to bring that onto the pitch. And she has these like mad ideas at lineouts and stuff, and we executed some of them at the weekend and they were unbelievable. But no, she's the best crack to work with, and she's so passionate, and it's lovely to see because she was obviously in our position once too. So for her to be able to bring that is great.
Brilliant. And this weekend then you play Leinster in Energy Park. So that's for round 3. That'll be a big game.
Yeah, I suppose this is kind of the big one, and the other fixture then is obviously Connacht and Ulster. That's a big one too, as it stands right now. It's not decided who'll be in the top 2 teams for the final next week, so it's going to be a nail biter. I think we all know the Munster and Leinster fixture is that one, that exciting one that everyone is kind of on the edge of their seat for. So tensions have definitely been building in camp, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Just can't wait to get out there. It's always a nerve-wracking one playing Leinster.
Yeah, I'll definitely look forward to that one. So best of luck. And just speaking of the Ireland team then, you were one of the 29 players who took up the first women's professional rugby contracts that were on offer in Ireland last year. Tell us a little bit about that, and I suppose how you decided to do it, and was it a straightforward decision for you?
Yeah, so we would have started our contracts last November. I suppose I was in a relatively lucky position. I had just finished college in my first job with in PR with Wilson Hartnell. And I'm a young player. So for me, I was quite lucky. I didn't have too many ties to any places. I'm living in Dublin, obviously, which was a major factor. So when I got offered the contract, I was kind of happy to invest in it and just to go for it. I had the opportunity from a work point of view. Will Sarton really supported me. I'm part-time working there now, so that's obviously been unreal. I'm young. I don't have a family right now, obviously myself. And I'm living in Dublin. So for me, it was definitely a decision that I was happy to make. And yeah, it's been good. I've definitely noticed myself, like my own development has certainly improved, and it's great to come in training every day. So it's busy, but it's good.
Brilliant. So tell us what your day looks like or what your week looks like then, having one of the
Yeah.
professional contracts.
Yeah, so it's busy enough. It's generally we train around 8 to 2. And then myself, I'll work from home for Wilson Hartnell from about 3 to 6, just my evening hours. And then we've a day off from the contracts on Wednesday. So I'll work a full day in office then on a Wednesday, just 9 to 5 generally. And within that training, then we'd have a gym session, a pitch session, and generally a rugby education session. So it's busy, but it's good. And look, sure, I'm young. It's it's the time to be doing it. So I'm happy out to do it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And is it hard then for girls to come back in that aren't on the contracts? Like they're obviously training away themselves. They probably do that bit extra when they're finished work and the likes. Is it hard for them to come in when you are, I suppose, training every day together?
Yeah, I obviously can't speak on their behalf, but I can imagine so definitely. I know that they'll be like training with the club, and we obviously get down and we can as well. And obviously now we're training with Province, which is lovely, because it's much more contact time with coaches and other players and stuff. So I think I know I would certainly find that hard coming back in, but I think as a group, there is a big non-centralized group as well. So there is a big group coming in from the outside as well, to camp. So I think it kind of balances out that way. But certainly to not have that much contact time is difficult.
And for you personally, then, what does it mean to be able to have the opportunity of taking up a contract?
Yeah, it's unreal. I'm lucky that I didn't have any major job on the table like that. That side of things made it easier for me, and girls were put in difficult positions when they had those things on the table. But I suppose, yeah, it's been an absolute honor to be able to be one of the first ones to take the contract. And it's been great to be able to allow myself to invest this much time into my game. And there's been ups and downs with it, of course, and lots of change. But it's been really great, and I'm hoping that I can keep showing that on the field.
Yeah, of course. And you made your Ireland debut in 2021. How did it feel to pull on that green jersey and play for your country for the first time?
Yeah, it was unreal. I think everyone kind of says it, but no, it was extremely special. I know Ciara Griffin, she was the captain at the time, so she's obviously such a legend of the game. And so playing with that kind of player group, it was such a different player group to what we have now. But I was just so honored and really lucky to get to play with some of those players that were still there at the time. But it was an unbelievable feeling having my family in the stand. I could literally hear them. I could hear my mum. She's extremely loud, so I can hear her shouting for me. And no, it was an unbelievable feeling. I suppose you just kind of chase that feeling for your next caps, and I'm hoping that I can get some more of them and continue to pull on the green jersey.
Was it always the goal, like the dream growing up to play for Ireland?
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't start playing rugby until I was 15. I actually didn't think it was a possibility for me at all. I played camogie since I was about 4. And my brother Shane, he's actually a professional rugby player, so he would have had his first contract. He actually his first contract in Grenoble in France when he was 19, and then he moved home to Connacht for a few years. So I would have always really looked up to him, and rugby was always a really big topic in our house. But I never thought it was a possibility for me. There was no teams around my town or anything. And then when I was 15, my club, Balna Killaloe, they set up a club, and I actually wasn't even one of the first in the town to try it. All the girls were going, and I said, sure, look, I'll go down one of the days. I think I just loved the contact element. So when that happened, then I started going for it. And obviously when you're playing at a lower club level, sometimes it can be easier to run through 100 people to get to a trial and stuff like that. But as it got tougher, and as I started playing at a higher level with different teams, you certainly come across loads of challenges, and you have to become a smarter player then. So that was the challenge for me. So I didn't know if I knew it was possible, but I think once I started playing with Munster, I was like, you know what, I can definitely give this a good shot. And I think I just kept trying and kept going as hard as I can. And that's honestly still what I'm just doing, just trying to train as hard as I can and get better and better every week, every day.
Brilliant. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And looking back at last year's Six Nations campaign, I know it was disappointing, and as a young player in the game, there was a lot of talk, there was a lot of media attention on the games and the results. How did you find all that, and how did you deal with all of that?
Yeah, it's a good question because obviously there was a lot of noise around it, and I think we're very aware as players when we come into camp that, you know, you hear this all the time, athletes saying it, but like that's not the focus. So I think we're very good as a squad keeping together in those times, and I think we know as well that all of this talk on the outside, they actually don't really have an insight into what is going on in camp and into the type of training that we're doing and the amount that girls are putting into it. So I think we're very aware of that. And I think that is special that we have that and that we have that understanding for each other, because the media and that outside world don't always. So our focus is very much not on that when we're in camp. And I know you hear that all the time, but that is genuinely the way. And so we keep going out and training and playing for each other and just trying to build on our performances each week and working towards that new team. So you really don't listen to much of that outside noise when you are in camp.
Yeah, and it was great to hear as well then Scott Bemand has been announced as the new head coach of the Ireland women's squad. He's on a 3-year contract. People may know he was a former professional rugby union player. He was part of the coaching setup as England. They finished runners up in 2017 and 2021 in the Women's Rugby World Cup, and I think he won six nations titles with England as well. So a hell of a lot of experience. So it must feel like quite an exciting time at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, we're really excited for kind of a fresh start and to have Scott in, and obviously someone with a resume like him, like it's going to be great. And I think we're looking forward to just being able to get better as a squad. Obviously we're quite young, so getting that development in and that good coaching is really, really important. So we can't wait to kind of kick things off properly and start working with Scott. And it's really exciting that he's over here with us.
Brilliant. And when does all that start for you?
So, well, we're obviously in camp at the moment as a centralized player. So we're in training every day, and Scott's in now. And then the squad will come together in September, probably mid-September for the next tournament, that WXV, which is happening over in Dubai. So that'll be when that wider squad comes in.
Brilliant. And you will be without Nicola Friday. It was, sad news to hear that she was stepping away from the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicola has been our leader for the last 2 years, and she's had to go through a lot and to kind of put up with a lot in her time, and she's been unbelievable. And I know each and every single one of us is really going to miss her. It feels really strange like having that leader go, and obviously she's the person who you would have kind of went to and looked up to. So it's definitely going to be a strange one coming into camp now without her. But we're all still in contact with her, of course. Like she's literally on the other side of the phone, thank God. So we still have that, and we'll hopefully go on and do her proud.
Brilliant, Maeve Óg. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck now with the weekend with Munster and everything to come with Ireland.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Aisling.